If you're struggling to get your foot in the door in aesthetics, maybe this mindset shift will help you out. If you're finding that you're applying to everywhere and nobody's giving you the time of day, you're not alone. I get asked every single day how to become an injector, and the reality is that breaking into this medical specialty is a lot harder than most people think. Aesthetics is incredibly competitive. I mean, it's considered happy medicine. Let's be real. It's a beautiful, beautiful career. Your patients enjoy coming to your appointments. I used to work in cardiology and they hated hearing about my diet and lifestyle conversations. They hated coming to their appointments. You don't get that in aesthetics, right? It's happy medicine. They love coming to their appointments, and you're really impacting somebody's beauty and their confidence and how they feel and how they carry themselves. It's a great, great industry. So I totally understand why it's become so saturated and competitive to break through. But there's another side to it. It's the practices side of it. Meaning, when you hire a new injector, somebody who is green with little to no experience, you are taking on a huge, huge risk. The reality is that these treatments come with a lot of risks. There's safety concerns. You have to understand anatomy. You have to understand how tissue works. There are a lot of risks that you take when injecting a patient, even with experience. Experienced injectors always keep a healthy amount of fear because they know that the risk isn't gone. It might just be minimized because of their experience. So hiring somebody green is not just about talent, but it's also about trust. When I first started injecting, nobody gave me the time of day. I was applying everywhere. Nobody wanted me. I had zero experience. I did take a couple of those big box courses like AAFE, which gave me a foundational vocabulary, but really no hands-on experience. I mean, the reality is that I got a certificate for a master lip injector, and I injected like an upper lip, and they handed me my certificate. So I had zero hands-on experience. I understood the vocabulary a little bit, but no experience. So nobody gave me the time of day. Now looking back, rightly so. So I had to shift. I had to approach it a little bit differently. So I found an office that I really was drawn to. I loved the providers, and I asked if they offered shadowing, and they did. So I asked if I could come shadow. I spent the day with them, and I instantly fell in love with them. I was like, this is where I want to spend my career. I love these people. I love how they treated their patients, how they approached their treatments. I was locked in. So I asked them if I could come back and shadow more. I was willing to pay for shadowing, whatever the case may be, but just to gain that experience and that exposure. I kept asking to shadow, and then finally I realized if I want to get my foot in the door, I have to take a couple steps back. So instead of asking to be hired as a provider, because they didn't have any providers in their office outside of the owners and the medical director. So it was a physician injector, and Larry, who is the owner of the practice, he is a PA, but he was the only other injector. No other injectors had been hired at this time. So I approached it a little differently. I asked them, listen, I understand I don't have the experience that you're probably hoping for to hire somebody on that would make you comfortable with the liability that you'd be taking. So how about I work as a medical assistant to you, learn how you think, learn how you approach treatments, learn how your techniques, all of that. I will work as a medical assistant, shadowing you, working beside you, handing you everything, just basically learning how he approaches his day with his patients. And then maybe it can unfold into something beautiful, but I would just love to gain the experience. And I really didn't think much of it opening the door into a full career with them. I was just hoping to gain the experience, as much experience as I could, and then maybe I could apply somewhere else and tell them, look, I have all of this experience now. So they did. They hired me essentially as a medical assistant. So now I am a PA working as a medical assistant to another PA. A huge financial cut, a huge step back as far as my degree, but I was okay with that. I was like, finally, my foot is in the door and I'm going to start learning techniques, start learning how to approach patients in different phases. And I was really excited about that. I worked with them for a year. I worked my ass off. I got there early. I stayed late. I really took every bit of what I could from the experience, and they learned who I was. They learned my work ethic, they learned my character, they learned that they could trust me as a human being. And eventually it evolved into a full-time position as their first PA that they've ever hired as an injector. And I don't share that story to say like it's realistic for people to take that dramatic of a pay cut. I understand that there's details that go into it, right? I share that story to basically explain that if you are getting into a situation where you feel like doors keep closing and nobody's giving you a chance because you don't have the experience, maybe taking a little step back and offering to shadow, offering to work for free, offering to work as an assistant. Maybe these different approaches will help kind of give you that backdoor access so that they can learn who you are and trust your character. The reality is that they are handing over their patients to you, and that is terrifying. You could be the biggest rock star injector in the world, but we don't know that yet, right? You could have been the biggest rock star ICU cardiac nurse, but when you come over to aesthetics, it is brand new. You are a day one provider. Doesn't matter how much bedside experience you have. This is a whole new world, a whole new language, whole new all of it. We don't learn really facial anatomy in PA school. I don't know about nurse practitioner, but we don't dive in. We have cadaver courses, but not intricate facial anatomy. So be patient, try to be a little creative with your approach and understand the other side of that liability that they are taking on. If you can't take that medical assistant pay cut, then maybe offering a tier system, meaning first 6 months, I know it's going to take you so much time and effort and money to pour into me and my education. So maybe we start low, tier one, and then after 6 months, it's a little less hands on. Then it goes to tier two, and then you eventually evolve into your full compensation plan. That's an option to allow the financial burden to not be so heavy on the practice. Again, this path isn't linear. And if this is something that you are really passionate about getting into, you have to be a little creative with your approach if you're experiencing those doors closing. But being able to take a little step back might be exactly what you need to take a giant leap forward. So I hope this helps. I hope you stick with it. Don't give up because this industry really is so beautiful. And I welcome all injectors, all providers. I love the growth in this industry because it means that we're gathering more patients and patients are getting more educated and more excited about injectables and lasers and devices and all of these things. So if you have any questions about how I tapped into the industry or any just advice that you may want, please comment below. Again, I'm an open book, and if you're loving these videos, please hit that subscribe button.